podcast. Today we're going to be talking about
Houston and Los Angeles, one win away from the World Series and Week 7 of the NFL season.
Please like and subscribe, and I'm going to give this podcast to my brother.
Only one unbeaten team remains in the NFL now. The Los Angeles Rams are the last of the unbeaten teams in the NFL. After Kansas City dropped a heartbreaker to the New England Patriots 43-40 in what had to have been considered the game of the year, and it was a great one to say the least. Steven Gostkowski knocking the game-winning kick through the uprights as time expired, and the New England Patriots did something nobody had managed to do all season. They managed to outscore Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City, I think, will be fine, but it was still a very exciting, thrilling game, and whenever it comes down to the kicker, whenever he's able to put it through the uprights, win or lose, that was a great game. And congratulations on New England for being the first team to knock out Kansas City, and it keeps them alive in the quest for the AFC East. Great win by New England, great win for Belichick and the New England coaching staff. So the Dallas Cowboys dropped 40 points on Jacksonville, and Jacksonville was frankly lucky they scored anything at all versus Dallas in what has to have been considered Dallas's best game of the season. Dak Prescott had a great game. Cole Beasley hauled in 2 touchdowns on the day, and the Cowboys, at least for one more week, it looks like the NFC East is going to go down to the wire again. But Dallas is shaping up to at least hopefully have a shot at winning at least the division. We'll see how far they go once they get there. But currently second place in the NFC East, 3-3, 40-7 win over the Jaguars. My only complaint about the win by Dallas, Brett Maher kicked too many field goals, but it was all right because Brett Maher he's been pretty good this year. He hasn't been perfect on the year, but he's made them when they've counted, and good for him. And hopefully he keeps it going, because kickers, they can win you games in the NFL. They can also lose you games in the NFL. But a good win for Dallas all around. And on Sunday, they play the Redskins, so it's not going to get any easier for them. So it was a good thing they scored when they did. The good thing they scored today. They scored on Sunday. It's a good thing they scored on Sunday. And we'll see how they do now that the division matchup happens against Washington on Sunday. Stat that is the most surprising this week in the NFL. There's 6 weeks of football. Guess how many touchdowns Julio Jones has? Does not have any touchdowns so far on the year for Atlanta. And Julio Jones just got extended and is getting ready to get the big contract again. But for Julio Jones to be shut out through 6 weeks of the season is rather unbelievable, rather inconceivable. Julio Jones shut down on the goal line. But I think Atlanta will be fine. I think Atlanta will be fine this year. They seemed they want to go back to the Super Bowl. They're hungry again, but I still think Julio Jones is going to get it together, I think. Or if not, Julio Jones might be facing a situation like Dez Bryant is right now. If he gets cold and stays cold, well, Julio Jones will be catching any passes from anybody this time next year. Although I do think Julio Jones is the best receiver in the game today. It's just very surprising to see him shut out to the first 6 weeks of the season. We'll see if that shutout continues or if he finally breaks through and scores one in Week 7. Stat that is the most surprising this week in the NFL. Through 6 weeks of football, guess how many touchdowns Julio Jones has? Does not have any touchdowns so far on the year for Atlanta. And Julio Jones just got extended and is getting ready to get the big contract again. But for Julio Jones to be shut out through 6 weeks of the season is rather unbelievable, rather inconceivable. Julio Jones shut down on the goal line. But I think Atlanta will be fine. I think Atlanta will be fine this year. They seemed they want to go back to the Super Bowl. They're hungry again, but I still think Julio Jones is going to get it together, I think. Or if not, Julio Jones might be facing a situation like Dez Bryant is right now. If he gets cold and stays cold, well, Julio Jones will be catching any passes from anybody this time next year. Although I do think Julio Jones is the best receiver in the game today. It's just very surprising to see him shut out to the first 6 weeks of the season. We'll see if that shutout continues or if he finally breaks through and scores one in Week 7. As I record this tonight, the Houston Astros are down 3-1 in the American League Championship Series to the Boston Red Sox. And the Red Sox 1 game away from advancing to the World Series. And the Los Angeles Dodgers are 1 win away from advancing to the World Series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, I still believe it's too early to make any predictions on the World Series until the 7th game has been played. I mean, everybody should remember the 2004 American League Championship Series when New York, the Yankees had a 3-0 lead. Looked like they had it in the bag, right? Well, wrong. A bunch of misfits came together, and they managed to win 4 straight for the New York Yankees, and then the Boston Red Sox kept on winning, sweeping the St. Louis Cardinals to win the 2004 World Series, and what was the greatest comeback in the history of baseball. And the 2004 Red Sox were the first ones to do it. Here are my Week 7 NFL predictions. Denver at Arizona. I'm picking Denver to get the win. Tennessee at the LA Chargers, and I'm picking the Chargers to get the win. Tampa taking on the Browns from Tampa, and I'm picking on the Buccaneers to get the win. Carolina at Philadelphia, picking Philadelphia to win. Minnesota at the Jets, picking Minnesota to get the win. Detroit at Miami, I'm picking Miami to get the win. New England at Chicago, picking New England. Buffalo at Indianapolis, picking the Colts to get the win. Houston at Jacksonville, picking I'm going to pick the Texans to get the win. New Orleans at Baltimore, picking the Saints to get the win. Dallas at Washington, picking Dallas to get the win. LA Rams at San Francisco, picking the Rams to get the win. Atlanta at New York Giants. New York Giants taking on Atlanta from Atlanta, picking the Falcons to get the win. Kansas City at home against Cincinnati, picking the Chiefs to get back on track and get the win on Sunday night.
Thanks for listening to the Powers on Sports podcast. Please like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter link will be in the description. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time at the next podcast. Bye!